Hi guys, it's me Ty here, and today I'm going to talk about how to drive brass bushings out of a bore, whether it be an excavator, you're replacing the pins in it, and stuff gets slopped out. Well, just at work here today, I had to tackle that job there, and it was probably a 6-inch bore, and there were no shoulders on the inside, but on each end of it, there flush with it was a brass bushing. It was probably an inch and quarter in diameter, and it was probably an inch and a quarter long, each one of them. And I've heard that you can get bushing drivers or whatever. They look like a circle with a lip on them, but I didn't have that. So and then other guys they'll get a punch and chisel from one side, stick it down the hole, and then and try and pound it out of there. Well, I tried that and it wasn't moving. It was just too much pressure in a very small area, and it would just cut into the brass bushing and then slip off. So what I ended up doing was I got out my deep well sockets and I found one that was the exact diameter of the bore hole, and I put it up on top of there, and I had the the end that goes on the ratchet on the bottom up against the bushing because I didn't want it to flex or anything, and then I had my 3 pound little mini sledgehammer, and I just held it and I just tap tap tap, and I wasn't tapping like that hard or anything like that. I didn't want to mar anything, and sure as heck it went down an eighth of an inch. But then my sockets started to get jammed up in the bore, so then I would wrap it on side to side with it, and it got loose, and I was able to pull it out of there. And then I went to the next smaller size of socket, and with that one there too, I went ahead and I actually turned it the other way because I'd already gotten the bushing moving. So the hex where you put it on your bolt was facing down on there, and up at the top there, I could put my extension in there because it's a 6-inch hole. So of course the socket you would get it jammed stuck down there in a way to retrieve it. So I started driving it down there. Then I added on probably this much of an extension is what I needed, and I hammered on the extension, pounding it down there, and it was actually the socket was actually going through the 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 brass bushing, and then it was just making the brass bushing really thin. And every once in a while, I would go and wiggle it and pull it on out of there. And um, at that point, or after I got it moving pretty good or whatever, I decided I'm going to get a big long chisel in there, and I started chiseling on the part that was still left in the wall that was really thin, and it was just busting out in chunks. And then after that, I stuck the socket back down there again with my lawn extension and started hammering it. And pretty soon the bushing came right out the bottom. And I looked at the bushing, and the top bushing I had started pounding on, that one actually went inside of the other bushing. The wall just got so thin that it was just able to suck itself in and go into there, and then my socket was stuck in the hole actually. So I gave it one last wrap, and then my socket fell out, and the hole was perfect, no scoring, no nothing. And then when it came time to put the two bushings in, I went ahead and I got a deep well socket that was just a little bit bigger than the hole, and I went ahead and I turned it upside down so that the square where your ratchet goes into that was laying on top of the brass bushing. I went ahead and I took my 3 pound hammer and I started tapping on it, just trying to keep it straight, tap tap tap, and it went right down into it until I got it flush and I called it good. And then I did the same on the opposite side with the other bushing, got that one level as well. So um, I hope this helps you guys. If you guys are dealing with that, because I know that can be a real pain when you're dealing with those brass bushings for removal and installation. If you guys like this money saving content, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll keep kicking out more repair videos on like the Honda Fits, the GMT 800 Chevy truck platforms, and my travels all around the world, and then repairs on lawnmowers too. So, all right, take care.